Ha, hello. I hope that we're doing well. Today's decided to be like a really weird day where it's like kind of warm but kind of not at the same time, and it's kind of like it's weird. It's weird. So, Little Nightmares update is we have one achievement left that we believe is to do with the first chapter of the DLC. I also realized that I don't think I have any DLCs for the second game. I don't know if they exist, but we don't have those as of yet. So if, I'm hoping we will, if we get to Little Nightmares 2 this afternoon, then it would just be gameplay at this point in time. But also, we would be starting with the original storyline anyway. So I don't think that's going to be like the end of the world. And then I can have a look at DLCs throughout the week. So we have a hidden achievement that we believe is tied to the first chapter of the DLC. And then we have Hard to the Core, which we learnt yesterday is not just a no-death run. It's a no-death run in under an hour. So, I'm going to need to look at the time when we start the run to help us sort of gather it. Apparently, thanks to, I want to say it's TD Pagey from yesterday, who indicated that the cutscenes are not included in the in-time game. So therefore, it's probably about an hour 5 total that you actually have up your sleeve. So it's about 10 minutes worth of cutscenes, and you can do it in 55 minutes if you're just doing it as a normal playthrough. Like if you're speedrunning, you'll probably quicken that up. But if you're just doing a normal playthrough, probably going to hit about 55 minutes and then 10 minutes of cutscenes that are not included in that hour time. So we're looking at about an hour 5 to try and get that done, assuming we don't die. So we are really hoping that death counter does not go up again today. But yes, I have no idea what the hidden achievement is for the DLC. So there's just going to be a lot of us trying to figure that out. We shall see. I'm going to move the keyboard just a smidgens so that I can flick that back. Alright. So if it's tied to the first chapter, I think I'm going to try. I'm just going to quickly, we're going to lose sound for a sec. There we go. I'm not sure. We believe that it's something called like All Fun and Games or something like to that effect. So if it's tied to this particular chapter, it's just me running around trying to figure that out. What happens if I swim this way? Can I swim this way? Okay, it kind of seems like we get to a point where it's like invisible wall. We kind of have this doll here. I'm wondering if it's something related to bringing the doll with us. I don't think that's always plausible though. I think that's the thing. Oh! Yeah, they introduced the stream streak like 3 streams ago. Because I noticed it too on my phone. Oh, I lost our doll. Dang it. So if it did have anything to do with the doll, we've lost the doll. Is this open? No. Yeah. There's something about a game. There's something about the achievement that we're currently trying to do. Like, it's all fun and games. So I don't know. But yeah. I was gonna say, I was like, I've already said hello. I don't know. We're literally trying to do this achievement like, oh, hang on. Actually, that tends to be the toy room. Can I take these with me to the toy room? Is that what it is? No, they won't go through and we have to squeeze through, okay? Whee. That's right, is that the new Pokemon game? What do you think of it? Is it easier to pull it this way? You're biased, you love it? That's fair. I've heard some moderate complaints. All Fun and Games feels like it's tied to like this room, yeah? Well, this is quite clearly a ball. So was there a hoop in this room? I didn't even remember if there was a hoop in this room, to be honest. Okay, that's fair. So I know that this is a light. That's the thing. Can I drag this? back through here and potentially turn on the light. I'm gonna close the door again so I can kind of see what's going on. No. Because it feels like something you would do with this. Like this room. Hate it. I found that with like a lot of games, like Disney Dreamlight Valley, for example, a lot of the clothes are very feminine, I've noticed. And the masculine gear is kind of just, I don't know. Because as soon as you get the torch, I don't think you can come back here. Can I shoot this through the swing? No, but we can give it a decent push. Whee. So we can sit on the swings. So this does sort of circle round. I'm wondering what exactly it is that we need to do for this fun and games achievement before we try and do a no death run. Because it feels like it would have something to do with this room, right? Unless, of course, it's not the DLC and it's actually the first chapter of the original, because we get lights in that one. So maybe I have a look at it with the lights on so that I can actually suss it out better. Because, yeah, if I have a look at it with the lights on, maybe we'll get an idea of, like, what the room kind of looks like, what particular things are in there. That might be the thing. And I mean, at this point in time, while I'm running through, I might try to do that no death run. We'll start it. So if we look at the time, 3 o'clock pretty much. Once this this cutscene finishes, it'll be 3. So I have until 4 pretty much. Maybe 4:05 if we're really sort of counting all of the things. But if I say 4, then I know that I'm within an hour is the best thing of that. So I did another little youth market today with my my youth kids, And I did not quite calculate how much exactly you're confused because it's 11 p.m. there. We had daylight savings. Is that maybe what you're confused with? So what is 3 now would normally be 2 p.m. in standard time. But we had daylight savings like 2 weeks ago. It would be 2 weeks to the day, actually, that we had... Yeah, so it would normally be 2 p.m. for standard time. Daylight savings is kicked in, so that's why it's 3. Find time zones confusing. I mean, it does get confusing when you've got daylight savings in effect, because not all of Australia does daylight savings, and not all those in the same time zone do daylight savings. So, like, Queensland doesn't do daylight savings. Kids are also confusing. Queensland doesn't do daylight savings, so they are currently still 2 p.m, even though normally they are in the same time zone as us. And then South Australia does daylight savings, but Northern Territory doesn't, so they would also normally be in the same time zone and currently are not. I think because the question then becomes, whose time do you set to that? Like, you are modifying everything. Okay, so you actually can't jump properly there. I know you personally, but people in general would get upset, and then the question becomes, who's the one who gets their time staying the same, basically. But also part of daylight savings is that like our work days and stuff don't change, or our school times don't change. The time itself is just being set an hour off. And so like what that does as a pro for like schools specifically, but also just like work in general, is that you still have daylight at the end of your shift. So rather than being like, oh, you're normally 9 to 5, but at this point in the year, actually, we're going to have you doing 8 to 4, so that you get that hour after, you get that extra hour after during the summer. Yeah, but I feel like that's going to end up being more work, and what's going to end up happening is that businesses are going to be like, nah, I'm not going through that effort, I'm just going to say 9 to 5 consistently. In which case, yeah, you're still not going to get that benefit that comes out of it, of just changing of just having a consistent date that the times change as a mandatory thing across the state. So I was chatting with my cousin last night. Also, my cousin was one of the people that stopped by the other day, in case you were unaware. I'm going to wait for that time to run out, because I actually want to suss out the room. I know it's going to waste time of our hard to the core run, but I want to suss it out. I want to be able to see what's going on. Yeah, so my cousin was actually one of the people that was in chat the other day. And I was talking to them about like Hollow Knight and how I was playing it on stream, but then I had forgotten. that, yeah, I had forgotten the mechanics because I left it so long between, like, elements of it. And that I feel, like, guilty for... yeah, so pretty much this is everything that I had sussed out from like still just being in the dark. Anyway, but yeah, that I felt guilty for like starting Silksong, which is why I haven't. Yeah, felt guilty for starting Silksong while I still hadn't technically finished Hollow Knight. And so then the question was raised, do I restart a gameplay run through of Hollow Knight so that we actually have better mechanics when, yeah, so we actually have better mechanics when we, go to fight the boss. After the extended things. Well, it also took so long because I didn't really know what I was doing. So I think that that was a huge element of that as well. Whereas now I know like a little bit more to actually be, yeah, because it's not like we have to do some of those side questy things that I was doing in order to defeat the Hollow Knight. It's just kind of like, okay, yeah, like it's done. Like I don't have to go through that section again. Or any of the like the storyline aspect, we also don't have to do any of that. Because yeah, I think a lot of the achievement hunting for Hollow Knight will be probably off stream, to be honest. Yeah, because I want the satisfaction of having a completed game. But yeah, because like another major thing that I was talking about is how my editing style has changed. That like if I was doing editing, if I the actual content that was on the screen, if I was doing what I would want to be doing now, back when I first started, with that editing style that I was doing at that point in time, like it would have been a lot better. The problem has now become that I don't have as much time to pump out content at the rate that I was pushing it out back in 2020 in that same editing style. So I either need to slow down, which is what ended up happening to a point where it stopped because I felt guilty for it all. Or I need to lose some of the fun elements that I was doing. So like there was one particular video that I was talking about where, so one of the very first games that we streamed was Franbo. And one of my favorite things that I ever did when editing was somebody mentioned in chat, I think it was Farley, mentioned in chat about yeeting the cat out the window. And so in the highlights edit reel that I did of that, I hand cut the cat out of that frame and yeeted it out the window. It took me forever. But for me, that was fucking funny. And it was one of the best editing things I have done by far. The time at which it took to do that, monstrously long, but it was COVID times. And so I had the time to do that because I wasn't working at all. Whereas now, that's not the case. And so, yeah, like I either need to, either I keep that editing style and content is released a lot slower, but it's also not full storylines. Like, at the end of the day, if you are wanting a gameplay storyline, like, you're probably not coming to my channel. Honestly, like, I know some people were like, oh, but XYZ was so bad. I low-key loved being in lockdown. Like, I know that some people felt so disconnected, but because people couldn't physically be with others, so many other forms of connection were happening online. And I think that, yeah, for a lot of people, which is really sucky for them, they lost a lot of their connection. But for a lot of people, they found connection that they wouldn't have otherwise had. That they wouldn't have otherwise had thanks to the pandemic. So the other sucky thing that had occurred from that, though, is that a lot of people got sick. So I also think that part of the reason my ADHD is as bad as it is because I got COVID. I know we're trying to do a timed run, but I can't leave the poor guy in the cage once I know he's there. Okay? But yeah, it obviously came with a lot of destruction that came through from a lot of aspects, and I don't want that. So yeah, I would rather things be the way that they are now, because the cons of the pandemic time don't outweigh the pros of that pandemic time, if that makes sense. Like, I really enjoyed the pros of the pandemic, but I do not enjoy the the cons. I'm glad I worked out running that way. Because you save, it's not that much time, but you do save time running that way. Alright, so if there are 4 chapters, you basically want to do a chapter every 20 minutes in a no-death run. And I feel like we're approaching the 2nd chapter. Like, if this is not us starting the 2nd chapter, I don't know what is. No, actually, I will. I will remember it better, but yeah, this is indeed the start of the 2nd chapter. So we're at 13 minutes. And so if it's a chapter every 20 minutes, we are 7 minutes ahead of an hour. Yeah, actually, I do still have a couple, because when we are sick and going to the doctors, we are still required to wear one. Which, honestly, like, understandable. Like, yeah, like, there's a lot of immunocompromised people out there that wearing a mask when you're not 100% is just extra protection for them. Like, it doesn't change a whole lot for yourself. No, I was trying to throw it off the edge. Thank you. I know we can make that jump, but I wanted to play it safe. Come on, come on, come on. I know, like, it's very self-minded thought process, right? And at the end of the day, we live in a society that, like, you live in community. Like, you can't do stuff that isn't going to affect other people in society. And so, you know, part of your moral duty is to, part of your moral duty is to just be more considerate of those around you. Like, yeah. Whee! Thank you. Alright, so we're about to get hungry again. Yep, there it is. Feels like 2 minutes ago that we were, it wasn't 2 minutes ago, but feels like 2 minutes ago that we were hungry and eating the bread. So the fact that we're already up to the second bout of hunger is kind of just insane to me. You know what's really funny? Because we've been doing achievement hunting, we've been so focused in these first... Oh, there's 5 chapters. 60 minutes divided by 5 is 12. You're gonna do... you've got to do a chapter in 12 minutes because there's 5 chapters, I just realized. So actually, we were right on time. Wear them under their noses, yeah. But yeah, we've been practicing inadvertently the 4 chapters, that is like the first chapter, the doll maker one, the chefs, and the dining room, because achievements have been abound in those sections. Whereas we got the achievements in the 5th chapter, so we didn't really go back there, which means I've had like no practice of that, and that's like the boss one. The record for any percent speedrunning is 33 minutes. I'm not surprised. Like, there's probably little things that we could be doing better across this run. Woo! 100%ing? Oh, Jesus. 45 minutes? Like, we're a third of the time through 45 minutes, but still, geez. An hour is doable, but I would like to. Get up, dumbass. But yeah, like, I'm not sure how we'll do. We'll see. Because I'd like to, because Inside was the other one that I thought would have been nice to speed run, and I never got around to that one either. Alright, are we ready for this? Whee! I don't know that he was even ever searching for us. That just seems a little weird. An accurate cosplay of him. We did one similarly a few years ago when I did the nurse from Silent Hill. Oh. Why suggest something cute to cosplay when we can just turn me into a monster? So the year that I did the nurse from Silent Hill, I won the staff Halloween costume contest, and I was the only one who dressed up as something like scary. So, yeah. That was a time. And then the following year, I wasn't as scary, but I still won the costume contest as well. Bribing the judges. I wish. At that point, it seems like it doesn't matter if you set him off. Oh my golly goodness me. That scared me because I forgot that it made that sound. You didn't have to shout them out. They just subscribed. I mean, I appreciate it. It's just the shout out message is for a raid. So. Yeah, I totally forgot that they make like the whole thing makes sounds. Oh, risky fucking business. I feel like he's getting real close. I don't like that. I did it. I don't like that. That was too close though. Yeah. That is true, but yes, no, we do have a shout out command for if we get raided. We're still in chapter 2. We've still got quite a ways to go. We were way too close to the edge there. Note to self, I always hang on until the door is finished swinging, because I have fallen off the edge by us swinging over that gap. By accident, my bad. That's true, but it doesn't seem like the kind of thing that would typically be short. Like, you feel like chapters would get slightly longer. We're almost at the end of chapter 2 though. Because this is where you slice off his arms. So, we're not doing too badly. We also have to remember that, that cutscenes take time out. So, I'm hoping that this pauses it for a sec. Oh, I'm so sorry. Hi. I'm just noticing the temperature gauge on my camera's flicked on. Typically, if I do it this way, it doesn't end up being too bad, but... Hey! Got it on the first try! Come on. So the thing is, right, is that we're not going to know the full, like, extent of the hour and what the cutscenes come to until I actually finish it and sort of properly check the time at that point in time as well. So even if we hit 4 o'clock, that doesn't necessarily mean that we immediately have to can the run. Yeah, that makes sense because it's currently 3:30. The big thing of that is that yeah, as I said, the cutscenes apparently don't partake in that hour. I'm actually just wondering if he's yeah, I'm just thinking if he's already in here, this kind of seems like a waste of time. Like, I feel like I have forgotten to grab the fucking key earlier. And that actually, when he goes on, we should be grabbing the key at that point in time. Oh no, the key's not there. It's in the bedroom. Never mind. We're all good. Hopefully we don't get the bloody glitch again. Okay. Oh, I forget that I can't jump with it. It's a habit to just jump as I run along. And I forget that I can't do that while carrying something. Did it again. My bad. It's fine. We're good. Alright. This fan is chucking a spaz, so we're gonna wait. He's gonna see me if I come around this way. So I'm gonna wait for him to not see us. To be fair, actually, I do feel like the chef's area is actually fairly quick. Oh, fucking move on. Because even though, yeah, we've only just started this chapter, I still feel like we're actually almost there with this chapter. Because you've got the part where you trick the chef to use the elevator. You got the part where you got the two chefs side by side. And at that point in time, I think that's... Oh, and then they do the chase immediately after that when you've got them side by side. And then that's the end of that. In Pillsbury croissants. So, here's the thing, right? When I worked over in the US, I was going to make a quote-unquote cultural meal of damper while I was on a Girl Scout camp. It's like a somewhat traditional camping food here that is rooted in like Aboriginal roots. And it ended up being vetoed for a can, like a Pillsbury can of dough. That was then later developed into making like our little garlic bread twists on sticks. And it's like, yeah, that stuff was good, but you completely vetoed my actual like cultural meal that I was suggesting for you all. Like, yeah. Right? Yeah, super easy. And I just was like, it was like very disappointing. I'm not actually sure. It's like, it's just like a bread roll thing effectively. And we like we like cook it over like campfires and stuff. But yeah, so I suppose like you could put it with like pasta, I guess. Yeah, you could dip it in soup. I butchered that. Because now we're kind of stuck. Possibly. I don't know that I've done damper with cheese, to be honest. Because it's more like a roll type thing, like a dinner roll type thing, not like a sandwichy bread thing. I actually wonder. I'm too late now. I was going to say, I wonder if actually you could jump up there, pull that down, and jump in before he even gets in there. I suspect that you probably could, and that's probably a speedrun tactic as well. So if we butcher that, I'll do that next time. Because they're dumb, they saw us go under the table and they didn't think to actually follow it anywhere. But at this point, I think we do need to wait for him to at least leave the room. See? He's so dumb. He looks directly at us. Where are we looking at? You're not there. That's all I need to see. Because they kind of just stand there and watch us. And point. I mean, to be fair, the first guy is like utterly blind. So I've noticed the temperature gauge has come back on my camera. So hopefully it can last long enough for me to, oh, shit. That was a big fall. That was risky. Fuck! Ah! Okay. Yeah, I just lost. I literally just turned my fan on for my camera because I saw that it was overheating. Yeah. So I'll switch it off for a sec because we're going to have to restart the run anyway. So 43, or yeah, about 43 minutes, and we were almost finished chapter 3. So that means we were giving ourselves like 15 minutes to get the first two, so the last two. So I am going to try and do some things that I've picked up along the way that it's like, hey, actually, we could just keep running through from the chef perspective, where I was like, I wonder if like this would be quicker. And indeed it is. We just gotta go with it. All right, let's see. Has that cooled down enough to turn back on? Yes, it has. Okay. Although now it's twigged that it's connected to the computer, so I'm not actually seeing a display properly. I also have no idea if we need to be doing this on like a new save. Okay, 3:45. I'm gonna set a stopwatch so that I can a bit more actively see than try to calculate the time myself. Oh, actually, you know what I was gonna do? I was gonna take my jumper off. Oh, an hour and 5. Love that. So we got one counting up, one counting down. I lost an ear. We got it. We're fine. All right. And the ceiling fan's off at the wall. Oops, crap. So we did this in 12 minutes originally. Yeah, they're clip-on. They're not part of the headset. Have a late lunch if you haven't eaten already. So here's the thing. I know that we feel our heartbeat when we've been running for too long, but I've never actually exhausted myself to the point where we've had to, like, I've chosen to stop running. We haven't been forced to stop running. Oh, crap. That would have been bad. That would have been embarrassing if I fell. And even more embarrassing if I died. Eee. Whee. So I know they're attracted to the light, but it helps me see where it's safe to jump. I say as I jump into one. Are you fucking shitting me? Hang on. That was bullshit. Anyway. Alright. Oh. Actually, while that's doing its quick little cutscene. Just so I can turn on the ceiling fan behind me. I think we're going to put it at a 4. Alright. Whew. I'm really hoping that I can actually do more of my cross stitch because it literally hasn't changed since the last time I showed you guys. And I've been thinking about it a lot and I'm like, ugh. I really want to do it. There's so much that I want to do that I want to try and complete it all, and then I don't end up getting to enjoy the activity for what it is, because it's just like, yes, I really like this, but I'm also really excited to start the second one, but I can't start the second one and enjoy that until I finish this. And so therefore I must finish this, which means I need to speed doing this. Yeah, and like, don't get me wrong, we've done a decent portion of it. So what ended up happening actually is that I got a box for it so that it wasn't always hanging out, but then it was a subconscious out of sight, out of mind. So I have so many projects. Like, I have a Hexicardi that I started, and then got the yarn that I needed to finish it, was trying to figure out how I actually wanted to like finish the length and the sleeves, like the sleeve length and the length of the cardigan without adding width to the sleeves, because it's a color changing ball of yarn. And so I'm trying to do a color block, but I haven't quite fully decided what I'm exactly doing with that yet. And so it has unintentionally kind of sat in a bag since I got the new yarn to finish that off, kind of thing. So that's part of it. Yeah, that's one thing. The parasol, to be fair, part of the issue that I have with the parasol is that I actually don't know that it's going to work. I have quote unquote finished it so many times, in the sense that I have finished the ball of yarn and it hasn't actually finished my design. And especially now that Hobbii doesn't ship to Australia, I can't get any more of that yarn. And so I don't really know what else to do with it. Like, I could probably do a different doily type pattern with it and it'd look really nice. But I had my heart set on a fucking parasol with it. And I've put a lot of effort into the parasol planning that I don't want to have it go to waste, but I don't actually have anything in my stash that finishes it off. So I would then need to go and buy more yarn with that specifically in mind, but I also have no idea how long. I have no idea how much yarn I need to actually finish the parasol. Like, I don't know how much yardage it takes. So that's one of those problems where I don't know how much to buy in order to do it. And I don't want to do one singular color. Like, yeah. So I know why that one's halted. I think, you actually can't see it at that particular angle, but the book that is next to the cat tower there is what has all of my plans in it. So, like, it's all in here ready for me to go. And then there's the knitting projects. So I will get there eventually. But I doom scroll too much. And I don't like starting rows and not finishing a row. Like, I'd rather halt a project at the end of a row. The cross stitch one's really easy to just halt whenever though. So I've been really enjoying that. Well, I don't have anything that matches the thickness of that yarn. Otherwise, I should do that. What am I doing? I'm at 6 minutes. So it's handy to know from a countdown perspective, but also handy to know from a count up perspective, because I can log my times like immediately in my eyesight. So like we had finished the first chapter at about 12-13 minute mark. Now I started this when I hit new game, or like, yes, restart the chapter. So as soon as he's past the bed, I think we're right to... But yeah, so as I was saying, that's one of the things I like about the cross stitch, is that I could literally finish a cross stitch, like finish a stitch. I could finish half a stitch and I don't feel guilty about putting it down and coming back to it later. So eating bread, that's probably a good one to mark, because I didn't actually mark what time it was that I ate the bread. initially. I just know that it was the 15 or 16 minute mark that we were eating the rat? Or was it the... That one might have been the... No, that one was the live meat that we got caught. That was a trap. It's about here that he throws it. So somewhere in the 7 minute mark is where we're eating the bread. That's what I need to remember. I have no idea if jumping actually helps us. Like whether it's any faster. But... Shit. I mean, I didn't die, but that's wasting time. I can't not save him. I understand that Six turns into a monster and eats our friend later, but no. At what point do you think it's safe to drop? There. Survival. No, because there was a bloody fucking there was a bloody thing. There was a sausage right there that Six could have eaten instead, and instead didn't. That's a little shit. I was gonna say, that's a little too close. But, it's fine. We didn't die. So we're at 11:40 at this second. And I think we said we were here at the 12-minute mark. So we're doing slightly better than initially on the proper run, not the one where I died stupidly. On that note, however, I also made mistakes back there that we could have saved time with, instead of me being a fucking dumbass. me actually wonders if it's feasible to pull the suitcase to the bottom of the one on the left and then climb up from there. Because also, as far as I'm aware, I have to go up and around for this. Far out. Pick it back up. That was rude. But it's fine. It's fine. We're fine. Whee! Do we think I have it this time around? Or do we think I'm just talking about the no death, not necessarily the achievement. Because the thing is we are not going to know. Yeah, we're at just under the 15-minute mark now of the hunger, so we're still kind of tracking. What was I gonna say? Yeah, not necessarily whether I'll get the achievement or not, just whether I can get through this run without dying. Because we won't know how we're going time-wise until such time as I... Because also, there's something I want to try in the chef's section. Where got this, no deaths, we got this. There is something I want to try that might result in a death, but that is if you run under the table that chef is cutting up the very first time you meet the chefs and run all the way across, there's an opening right there. And so whether it's actually feasible for you to just run, bolt straight through there, run through the kitchen and get to it before he's either he'll twig while you're in there and then he'll be stuck in his animation while you're doing the rest of the running. Because that's what happens with the doll. I'm going to call him the doll maker. That this is what happens with him. The first time we properly are encountering him in that room, which is upcoming shortly. That he's still stuck in animation. So we actually have the ability to run straight through into that room to then start doing the trapdoor. And so because he's stuck in animation, and when he's out of animation, we're actually out of the room, he doesn't come towards that door, so we actually get a clean run straight through into the trapdoor. So I'm wondering if it's a similar thing with the chefs, at least initially. So in that section, he's stuck in animation, so we were able to get a clean straight into here. And And you just need to start the trapdoor. You don't actually have to do it all the way. So unlike one of the other ones in the extended stories where we're trying to get past him, where you actually have to finish like cycling it around, we don't actually have to do that here. Who even is the shoe monster? Is that the doll maker as well? Okay. You gotta tell me what snack you get. Alright. Okay. So elevator at 19 minutes. I feel like I'm doing a speed run, even though this one isn't me intentionally speed running. It's just me trying to get the achievement. But technically it feels like speed run practice. See, at this point in time, if I didn't die in that first run, we'd be finished the first run. That's what I'm wondering. I feel like this is too risky. But if we creep... we, in theory... yeah, I think at that point in time that he... unless we make a sound, we in theory could also just quicken that up a little bit. So if I am short just a little bit of time, I think that's one of those spots that I would try and do that. That's what I was hoping for, actually. That's what I was going to try in this run. Oops. How they do it in 33 minutes? We're at 21 right now and we haven't even started the third chapter. Let's wait for it to swing just that smidgens. Here's the thing with him creeping here. Is that in theory, we should be able to just crouch right behind him. As long as we don't make a sound. And then because I'm quick enough through here, any sound that I make through here doesn't actually matter. Because we are actually really close to finishing this chapter out. So we can't keep running because the heartbeat keeps going. Oh, that's a bit risky. Fuck. Okay. I was like, that feels like we're not gonna get it. But we did, and we're fine. Crap! Are you kidding me? Rude! Alright. Alright. Well, the good thing about this is that it allows me to try and neaten up some of that stuff that I mucked up a little bit in the first chapter anyway. But still, I think if I don't get it after this one... Oh, hello! Welcome! There we go. I was making sure that my my death counter was up to date. Ha! Thank you! We're doing alright. I have died a couple of times trying to do the hard to the core achievement. And I did sort of have a bit of a squiz at the hidden achievement that we think that we've missed, and I'm still confused on it. I have a feeling it has something to do with like the playroom, but that's the best that I got at this point. So yeah. But how are you? Wee. Oh, how'd you go with it? We were just talking about like the speed run for this and how the any percent is 33 minutes and I think the 100% is 45 minutes. And I was like, how are people getting this in 33 minutes? Like we weren't even finishing, like we were just starting the third chapter at the 33-minute mark, or a little bit of the way through it, because I think I finished that. Oh, I was close to finishing the third chapter when we died. It was during that run when you've got the two of them chasing after you. That's where I died, and that was at the 38-minute mark. Oh, they do freaky skips. I feel like that's cheating if you're doing skips. Like if you're not actually playing through sections because of a glitch or something in the game. 100% is fun. But even then, to have 100% run at 45 minutes, like, god damn. This does seem like it'd be a really fun game to 100% though. Because, like, unlike with Italdew, like, there are different things that you could pick up time at other areas because of how things randomly spawn in. And so just because you might lose a little bit of time in one aspect doesn't mean that you have necessarily lost the run. Whereas I feel like in a game like this, like, you know, like, it's not a random spawn in rate. It's all, like, somewhat consistent. Oh, you're 6th at 51 minutes in 100%ing. So you're only like 6 minutes off of the record. See, this is the room in the extended stories that I suspect has something to do with that hidden achievement that we've yet to get. Like, I feel like once you know the tactics, this would be right up my alley to do that. So, I'm keen to give it a go. Whee. Yeah. So we were eating the bread in that 7 to 8 minute mark. And we're at 6 minutes 30 at the minute. Yeah. So we're starting to feel the hunger at the 7 minute mark now. So we're still on track with where we were originally, and I think I worked out that on average you need to complete a challenge, so you need to complete a chapter in about 12 minutes to be at the hour mark. Oh, thank you. Thank you for being able to do that, because I can't properly get into my chat. Is that from the TY Beanie Babies? Is that what that's based on? Yeah, all the stuff happened. We died again. Whoa, crap. That would have been bad. Oh, you don't actually know? It looks like the logo for it, for the Beanie Babies. I still have some. In fact, I think... I can't remember if they're in this room or if they're in the roof right next. I think they're in the roof next to me here. Thought it was just a thank you because it's a TY Beanie Babies. But yeah, I used to collect Beanie Babies, so I have quite a few. Some were part of our background for a bit, because I like them. They're part of like my favorite sets. But everything else, no, I'm not going to keep all of them. I am going to sell them off. But that thing is burned into your brain. Well, that's what I used to get instead of pocket money. It used to be a Beanie Baby that I could pick out instead of like pocket money. So that's why I had so many. I feel bad. I had someone willing to buy my entire collection, but I forgot to catalog it all and like properly get in touch with them. And I was like, well, shit. But also, I knew that she was planning to use them for an art project. And so I suspected that she might be like tearing a whole bunch of them up. And I kind of was a bit like, oh, I don't know that I want to be a part of that. Nah, because you can get them individually for probably about $2 to $5 depending on condition, and that's each. And so I have over 100, so that's about $200 to $500 depending on condition. So even though they're not worth like the money that was spent to buy them initially, I also didn't spend that money initially. It was my pocket money. Yeah. So when you factor it in for me, so we're here before the 12-minute mark, by the way, guys, just so we're aware. That yeah, from my perspective as a kid who was getting them as pocket money, fantastic fucking investment for me. Just cashing in all my fucking pocket money years later. But some of the ones that I plan on keeping, there was a school bear. Like, it was a bear who was going to like school. I think his name was like Lerner, and he was from the class of 2002, which is the year that I started school. He had a whole bunch of them. Okay. Yeah, this was one of those things where I wonder if you actually put the suitcase underneath those, whether you could just climb the shelves immediately from that. But at least this is like a confirmed way that this is going to work. It's fine. We're fine. Oh, that key went fucking flying. I have found that it's quicker to fucking drop the key and just push that door. Alright. Whee! Oh, I need the monkey. I was just gonna run straight into the elevator. See, this is what amazes me about, like, speed runs where, like, it's hours long. It's like, how do you remember all of the ins and outs for stuff that's, like, over an hour? Under an hour, I can see, like, with a lot of these mechanics. And I guess a lot of it would come through with, like, memory of, like, oh, yeah, I remember this scene, so therefore I remember what to do. So it's probably a lot to do with, like, you just playing through the motions. But yeah. Stop leaning over in hunger pains. They're big brain, we're not. I'd like to think that I'm big brain some of the time. I know it's not all the time, but some of the time. Oh, for reference to for anyone who's hanging out in chat, don't forget to do your daily check-in. It does count how many times you're at stream, so. I become big brain when I remember to use all my abilities in a game. Exactly. Or when I remember to take my medication. Speaking of which, I haven't done that today. Oops. Is this the scene that you recognize the most? Well, to be fair, this was the one that we originally started in when we restarted our gameplay this year. And then you also have this scene when you're playing the extended stories. Whee! Wait. I never remember which way round it's meant to be. Oh, that was a big fall. What the fuck was that? Fucking broke our fucking back on the way down? Fuck off. Ugh. That's so frustrating. Okay. This one will be our last one. I will try to then go and do the hidden achievement. And then I think we'll just boot up Little Nightmares 2 at this point in time. Because at this point in time, like, we've done everything else except for that hidden achievement. This one is probably lends itself more to the speed running aspect of it. So I wonder if it's worth restarting the timer when this cutscene finishes to truly see where things align, but I do it inclusive. Speedrun once you've honed my skills in the second and third game. That is also true. I think I will do speedrun research because my gaming planner should arrive this week. I'm hoping it'll arrive this week. In which case I can actually make these notes for the Little Nightmares games. I probably would just have them all in one section rather than being like 3 separate games. But yeah, I'd love to be able to have speedrun notes. Hello. Love to have speedrun notes for the games that I'm interested in speedrunning. Because I would love to speedrun Little Nightmares, love to speedrun Inside. I want to better my speedrun in Idylldew. And yeah, you got all the tips that I need, being be fast. Like saving stamina with jumping. That is actually fair. You're right. I think my stamina... Yeah, because I'm just running through. That falls under be fast. But it's that's an extra tip. You named the category. Pop. I will read that properly in a sec. Gotta refine the categories under the umbrella, exactly. You cheesed the speedrun trophy, didn't include a platinum for full completion. You cheese it instead, okay. That's fair. Like, we haven't been doing too badly. I don't actually know how we would do because we haven't done a run where I haven't died, let alone actually worried about the timer. The timer for me is more of like an interest point while we keep working towards not dying. And at the minute, I feel like all of the deaths have been stupid stuff. Whee! Okay. Just gotta get good. Yeah, that's also a fair point. Oh, it was popcorn. I'm debating about getting a popcorn machine because I quite enjoy like making our own popcorn at home. But it feels like it'd be easier to do that with like a little machine that I can just whack them in instead of like trying to do it in the microwave. Like, there's no problems with doing it in the microwave. But I don't know, I feel like it'd just be that little bit nicer from like a little novelty machine. Oopsies. I hit the train coming through. It's fine. I have not yet, no. So I like achievement hunting and 100%ing my games first before I like move on to the next in the series. So I don't mind jumping from game to game, but I try to keep the games in the series. Like I won't play the next one until I've 100%ed it. What is pepcorn? Please don't tell me it's popcorn and Pepsi. But yeah, so our actual goal is if I have a decent attempt at this run and I die, or I actually complete this, we'll be playing Little Nightmares 2 later this afternoon. So that's the actual goal of that. You play through. Yeah, so I have stuff that's transferred. Oh crap. That was dumb. We're still alive. It counts. Damn it. I just lost my ear too. Crap. Do I try one more time? I feel like we owe it to try one more time, right? So I was going to say that actually, it could also be that we actually just take a break. We go and do that hidden achievement. Oh, thanks for the follow. That we try and go for that hidden achievement, and then we'll see from there. We'll try the bloody thing at that point in time. So apparently it's in this first chapter. I suspect it has something to do with that playroom, the one that I literally just tripped on the train in. Because apparently the achievement is called Fun and Games. I have had quite a few moments like that. I'm going to have so much fun when I edit the highlights of all of this stuff. But I want to get through Creeks first. So I've done the first part of Creeks. So if you're interested, first of all, you can watch the entire thing of Creeks. Yeah, you can watch the entirety of Creeks if you would like to, because that's still public on Twitch. But if you kind of just want the highlights part of it, there is... Yes, please. That there is just the highlights for the first part of Creeks. So like the first stream that we did of Creeks, and I think I did 3 streams total, so I think I have 2 more to do. Yeah, I think I have 2 more to do in order to finish that, and then I'll compile it into one video so that I can put that on YouTube. That's the goal for that. But it's finding the time and the patience to do it, because I kind of don't want to download the whole stream to edit on my editing software. So I've got to admit, I may have been doing it via the highlighter functionality on Twitch, which is fine. It's fine. Oh, I think it's socials for the tag. There you go. So I try to post on TikTok. I don't really post on TikTok. But yeah, YouTube is more frequent. Chaotic Dragon Crafts is, as the name sounds, chaotic crafts. So it's very chaotic in the actual uploads. Is the intention for that. So I feel like it has something to do with this room, right? That my timer for the actual like don't die, the hard to the core run is was still running. But yeah, like I feel like it has something to do with in here. If the achievement is called Fun and Games, you know? But it isn't. It's nothing to do with this room. But it is this chapter, yeah? Okay. Whee. The meat falls in the tub for Granny and you have to try and distract her. What? Now I'm confused. Falls in the tub. Is that the fish? Also, are you saying that the thing that swims here is female? I have been calling it pool guy this entire time. And then swim away. That's what I do all the time. Like, I thought that was how you actually do that section, was to throw the fish in the water one way and then swim the other. Oh my goodness, there you go. Didn't know that it was a granny this entire time. That's the section that you get the, is that, so is the achievement throwing the fish, or is the achievement like, yeah, is the achievement throwing the fish, or is the achievement just there in that part? Oopsies. But right near it? Okay. There's a bug. Because I was going to say, if the achievement is throwing the fish, I have done that every single time. Wow, that plank went flying. Whee! Okay. Whee! Okay. Whee! Alright. So. Power on. Fill the tank. can just jump into it at this point in time, can't I? Whee! I am on stream. On stream? On Steam. Yeah, PC. Oh, I was like, hang on, but I can vaguely see it here. Okay. Steam can now also be Steam Deck. That is also true. Oh. This might be dumb. But it's fine. So it's a little after this section, apparently. Whee! All right. Oh! That was too close. So it's a little after this, yeah? We're in this general area. It's by the basket looking thing. Right here. This thing? What about it? Ball at the right. I'm assuming this is a ball? Woo! Okay. So, that is indeed all achievements except for hard to the core. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to give us one proper solid chance. So like if I die because of a stupid mistake fairly early into it, we'll restart. But if not, then I'm going to call it at that point. We will take a quick break for me to switch the games over, and then we will start the second game, where I don't know anything about the second game. So that shall be fun. All right. So I'm going to give us a good hot crack at it. Okay. Alright. What is the cheese method? What is it? American Swiss Gouda. My favorite is lactose free. So that covers anything if it's made lactose free. I know nobody redeemed stretching, but I want to stretch. Oh. Alright. Okay. I'm like tempted to like wait to start the run until I read the cheese method. But we're supposed to be tolerant now. Well, the thing is that cheese and dairy is not tolerant of me. You can get to a checkpoint without dying, then upload your save to the cloud storage, and then you die, you can re-download that old save. Oh, I see. Yeah, I'm not sure because I think it auto-saves in this. So if you die, it auto-saves. I also don't know where all the checkpoints are, but I suppose if I make it to a checkpoint and I see that I'm gonna die, I can pause it at that point in time, exit, re-enter. Yeah. Okay. So just exit to main menu, reload. I feel like we owe it a hot crack to actually try without doing that method. But also, if you're consistently having to wind back, I feel like you wouldn't get it in under an hour. I suppose it depends on how often you have to protect from a death. Like, nothing thus far has been a death that realistically, like, it might have been like a dumb thing, but like, obviously you can get through all the sections without dying. So in theory, this should be doable fairly easily if you just don't make the dumb mistakes that I do. Whee! Wah! Oh, there's one there. Whoa. That was close. I gotta say, I feel a little bad. Like, our poor little Love Ghosty save file is sitting there waiting for us to make all of our matches. And I just was like, nah, let's do Little Nightmares. We're like so close to finishing that game, that particular save file as well. But there's only so much time in the week to stream. And I've had the mad hyper focus for Little Nightmares at the minute. Whee! We shall climb. I think part of my problem with running through this room is that I can't see it all too well because of the ring light that's sitting directly in my face. With falling off of pipes. Fair. Whee. Whee. I can feel our little heartbeat every time I try to run. Okay. We are doing well. I say as we're like 5 minutes in. Wait for him to pass the bed. That's what that... Oh, we're getting quite warm. I think when we switch games, I might swap to some shorts. So we are a smidgens behind in time because normally I think we're in the area, well, maybe not, where must have the heat on high. Yeah, there's definitely no heaters going on in this house. This computer just runs really hot. And it doesn't help that we've got the tower positioned the way that we do, and the air at the back is blowing this way, which is why the camera does its thing. Of overheating. That's also why I have a little fan there on the other side to blow back the opposite way. And it's been fine since we've done that. The little fan is also just like not entirely keeping up. But I'm pretty sure it's like $5 from fucking Kmart. So... originally called Hunger. Oh, because I have no idea when the first and second game were released. I feel like for some reason I thought the second game was released at around COVID times. But I definitely have been really excited to play the third. So it's been on my wish list for ages. And then I happened to check my wish list 2 days after it dropped and was like, oh my god, we have to go back to this now. Whoa! We don't want to do that. I feel like I need to wait for it to come back this way just a smidgens. I always freak out that I'm not going to make that. I don't think there's been an opportunity, I don't think we've missed that in the current set of playthroughs. I don't even remember the first set of playthroughs, so... Yeah. Longer than 4 years ago. I know it wastes time, but I can't do it. Whee! I also still don't understand how we are heavier than that. Like, that looks like it'd be heavier than me. We're not dead yet. It's fine. It's fine. It's fine. Six, 8 bread. Perhaps she's chubby now. Maybe she's gluten intolerant. She got all bloated. I just prayed that we would make that. Oh. What are the badges? I don't actually know where they're all from. Alright, 12 minutes at this point in time. I did start the timer as soon as I hit the reset for everything. So we've obviously had some cutscenes that are involved in that as well, but it's a secret. Because it's like a little moose. Oh yeah, is that the guy from inside? Can't quite tell from the monitor. Is it Inside or Limbo that I'm thinking of that it reminds me of? One of those. Oh, are they both from Little Nightmares 3? That explains it. That's cute. It's not like it's spoiling the storyline. I accidentally took a screenshot of that too. This is gonna be a random screenshot of this fucking computer. Alright, I think I need a solid break from trying hard to the core. So, I'm gonna quickly switch games and switch into some shorts, and then we will be right back.